Wow. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's go, Las Vegas. Yesterday was one of the greatest days of my life. We had a lifer meetup. It was unbelievable. So many people came that the place was like, well, you have way more people than you thought. And I said, hey, man, I'm kind of famous over here. Hey, you know. But a lot of people showed up. Everybody was on time. You people are unbelievable. One of the greatest gifts I've ever received was that event last night in my whole life. Seriously. Thank you so much for all the love. Thank you so much for all the support. And let's get it into Bitcoin. Looks like it may be dumping, losing 107,000. I wish we could pump, but it always seems to kind of have some problems near the event. So that's something that I see happening. Let me turn that music down a little bit more for you there. Make sure it's kind of right in the pocket. How's that music? I just turned the music down a little bit, though. Double check it for me. Pretty good? All right. Good mix? All right. I'll bring it down a second more. And now we're going to run on into the stream. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's break down BTC. Ethereum. Looked like it was going to break out on the daily there. Came back down. I was looking for a bullish retest last night to see if it could bounce. You don't buy immediately, wait for it to bounce. It did a slight bounce. It's funny. They faked the bullish retest last night. You'll see it. See this? Had that feeling they was going to pump. They got people to get into the bullish retest. They rocked it. Right now, I'm telling you, I can feel it. I can see it. They're stop hunting left and right. 1 hour gets chopped up. 15-minute gets chopped up. 7-minute gets chopped up. 1 minute gets chopped up. Like, you got to be easy. One thing I have noticed, though, is the strategy on the 1 minute continues to play out. Right here, we cracked the 1 minute 200 MA. We made a little flag here. We came down to the flag. Beautiful flag right there. Entry was right there. That is my sauce. You get above, you hit the 200, the 21 above the 200 MA, and you make a flag. I execute on that over and over and over again. I love seeing that. Look, it's a bit of a cup and handle. They call me Sammy, cup and handy to the upside. No, this was not rehearsed. I didn't even know there was a cup and handy. I mean, look at that. And that boom to the upside, 548 on Wednesday morning for the move of Ethereum. Or 548, what is that, in the afternoon yesterday? Wednesday the 28th. Today is Thursday, right? Yeah, I'm out of my mind. But that was yesterday in the afternoon, 5:30. You could have caught a cup and handle on the 1 minute time frame. That's my signature move right there. If anyone remembers me for anything, it's a cup and handle crossing the 200 MA with the 21 touching on the 1 minute. Like, I should be known for this. Like, this is my sauce. And this is how the daily reverses on 90% of assets in the world. This is how it happens right here. I'm teaching you, whether you even realize it, I'm teaching the micro analysis of how the daily will reverse. This will go over your head if you're a beginner, but this will seep into your subconscious mind. And over time, years from now, you're going to be like, man, Sammy gave me that sauce, man. I'm telling you, if you don't know it now, because some of you don't even have enough knowledge to know what you just learned, but you will over time. Bitcoin. Looked like it was going to do numbers. We called the bounce on the 15-minute last night. I said, I see the 15-minute ripping up to the 200 MA. I gave this call to my trading group. I was traveling, and I gave this call. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let me show you the call I gave in the Discord. While I'm traveling, all right, let's just make this clear. While I'm out at dinners, hanging out, I don't play. I give you a clear, defined, motivated trade. Look at this thing. I can see Bitcoin on the 15-minute. Get a move to the 200 MA. Most people would never even seen this. How could I saw I was going to make a flag and then pump up to the 200. Very likely was going to hold above the 50 moving average there. Why? There's a chunk of liquidity here, a little bit of a gap, and I can see this node sticking out. The node sticks out right where these candles come up. That's resistance. You have a lot of here too. Resistance. That tells me that's a support and resistance flip right there. Let me show you on the flip side and get into the real-time data. But so right here, this is what I was looking at. And I could see this chunk, resistance, right? Bounce, resistance, bounce. And you can see this line was defined clearly by support and resistance. Look at it. And you can see we wicked up to it, we wicked down to it, and it looked like the 15-minute was going to rip. I drew the 200 because the 200 wasn't there yet, right? To try to teach you what's going to happen. I can see the 200 is going to continue out. Price is going to pump up to it. Might come up a little bit. It did. But look, here's the high volume node of liquidity. People sold. And bang, here we are now. But if you had taken that trade, basically the trade was to get in here and ride it to the 200. Nothing more, nothing less. That was it. That was the executed move. Let's break down exactly what happened here and show you. So that was the trade I gave. And again, most people see this and it's like, dude, that's convoluted. You didn't even really say what again. What is that? You just flipped that up. But if you know my system, you know my strategy, this is all you need. This is all you need to understand what I'm teaching you. This is it right here. This is the sauce, man. I just gave you 2 high-end pieces of sauce, and it's only been 10 minutes. You could take that to the bank, what I just taught you. 200 MA here on the 15-minute, bouncing up, all right? And this thing, you know, and so I like to play this off and see what happens here. And let's play this. And bang, it did exactly what Sammy Cup and Handy explained it would do. Then it made another flag, which is enticing, and that would get me going. 21-day comes into price action, and then you get the move. And it started the pump. But was there a bearish div there? Not really. But what happened? Let me show you. Flip to the 1 hour. And the 1 hour got bagged by the 200 MA. It couldn't get back above the 200, and that was bang. That's usually where I take some profits. So beautiful trade last night if you were up and around to execute. And I don't know if you were able to take the short at the rejection. I would have sold there, went to bed. And then look, the gap in the VRVP, we went right down through liquidity yet again. So we're going to fast forward to where we are right now. We're going to show you what's happening. I may just see something like I just saw in the 15-minute. I might see a trade just like that. And look, that took, if we look at the 15-minute, that trade when I put it out here, you know, you're talking right here, I believe right around there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, you know, 4, that's an hour and 15 minutes right there. And you basically executed the trade. I may find something like this today. In an hour and 15 minutes, we may be able to execute a trade. So stay tuned. It could happen live. You never know. Right now, Bitcoin's taking a beat down, losing key levels. Now I have to say this is a bit of a bearish flag, and the bearish flag is breaking to the downside. You see this? It's got a measured move, and it looks like it's steamrolling to the downside. So last night after that call, I said, you know, I'm just not trading. I'm tired. I'm in Las Vegas. The time is different. Like it's 7:19 in the morning right now. You know, I don't think I think most people realize that on the stream, but I don't think everybody realizes that on the stream. So yeah, I have to wake up at 5:45. Takes me a half an hour to get ready, right? Leave the hotel, get into an Uber, make it to the studio by 6:30, then get everything set up in the studio, and then bang, we bring you the show. So it definitely is a lot of hard work to keep it going, but I wouldn't change it for the world. So look, a rejection here, you know, nasty rejection, and it's the 1 hour 200 MA that rejects us. Let's clean this up. Let's talk about it, but this is bearish. Let's be honest. It just doesn't look amazing, and we've been stuck inside this chop now for a while. Bitcoin's been up, down, up, down, up, down. Like this is chop. This is chop. This is trading chop. This is where my system and my strategy will chop out. My flags will break down. Things won't be, this is, you know, and once I see this, I trade it a little bit, and then I get reserved. And I say, you know, I'm pulling back because I can see that the probabilities aren't playing out, right? And that's one of the greatest thing about having a strategy and a system. You'll trade it, and it has a high probability because, you know, most of the time it's going to hit. When your strategy stops hitting and you force it, then it stops hitting, you force it, that's when you got to step back. So what I do is when the market shifts, I start using small time frames. If I get stopped out multiple times, I mean smaller amounts. If I get stopped out smaller amounts, I don't need tons of money to find out if we're structurally, you know, shaky. I just need to see that the trades aren't playing out. Like whether I put 100 for 300 or 1,000 for 3,000, if 2 or 3 trades start getting chopped out, it doesn't matter. So I start using smaller trades. I see the chop and I pull back. It's very simple, right? Like I test the waters. I get chunks. Then I start testing the waters. I see that things aren't working the same. You can clearly see if you're using my system, a lot of flags have been bagged. That 15-minute played out yesterday perfectly, but we used the moving averages, see? It was all about the moving averages. That's how it was put together. That's how we really, really looked at it. Shout out to the 97,000 subscribers here on the channel. 97,000 people here on the live. On the channel, man. Thank you so much for everybody jumping on in and being a part of something bigger than themselves. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let me get this Discord up and running. It's funny, people. I'm here every single day, 10 a.m. to 12, but people still miss the stream if I don't post it to the group because they're in the charts, they're stuck in there, they're doing something. I don't know. They're on the Nasdaq. Who knows what they're doing? But pay attention. We have 1,497 beautiful souls, 279 likes. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. All right. Nice bear trap, striped tie. My favorite part is guessing the fit of the day. I like that you were doing that. That actually hooked me up. I was reading, and you're like, striped tie, blue shirt. We were laughing here in the studio. Keep that up. That's cool, man. It keeps a good vibe. I like that. Why is the market dumping? Because you think it is. No, I'm just joking. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? It's creating opportunity. So look, this is a symmetrical triangle. It has head and shoulder vibes if you look at it from the side too. Shoulder, head, kind of right shoulder that could break to the downside, you know? So they've been toying with this key area. Anyway, let's look at the weekly. Let's break it down and let's talk about it. But I see more downside. I just do. I see Bitcoin. Yeah, man. Now, same thing yesterday, but we got the bounce. Here we got the bounce. Divergence. These divergences aren't getting us back above key resistance and supports. Like 109,065. It's not the best. All right. So let's delete everything. Let me do my top-down analysis like I do every single day and see kind of where we stand, where we're going in the next hour, 2 hours, and into tomorrow. So the first thing that I talk about and I always look at is the weekly time frame. All right. The first thing I'm looking at is the weekly time frame. We take a look at the weekly, you can see tweezer tops beginning to form. Every time we had tweezer tops in the weekly, we had a bit of an issue. Things started to pull back, pull back, little pullback, nothing. Tiny sideways. Like, that's what you would be looking for here. Like, that's your hope. We get some sideways price action. But you can see it's clearly pull back, dump. It's clearly not, the probabilities are already telling us that this thing is likely going to continue possibly down, right? So the probability right now says that it's more likely we go down. Why? Why am I saying that? I'm not pulling it out of my, I'm not saying random stuff. I'm saying, look, just do the math with me. Look, every single time a red candle closed next to a green candle on the weekly and positioned itself as a tweezer top. What is tweezer tops? These look like tweezers. These two wicks together look like tweezers. These two wicks down look like tweezers. Tweezer bottom, tweezer top. 90% of the time, those tweezer bottoms are going to have that move back to the downside. All right? I'll just added big to my Sui long. Confirmation screen never came up. So I hope it works out. Yikes. It's weird, right? The other day, I needed a confirmation screen. I was just seeing what would happen if I put 660 grand in a trade. I just wanted to see the parameters. And I guess I had turned confirmation off. So I get in. Next thing you know, I'm in for 660 grand. And that wasn't what I wanted to do. But then I got greedy and it started to pump. I was up like $400 in a few minutes. And I was like, man, maybe I should keep it open. Then it was down 1,000, 2,000. Then I had to ride it out all night. And I ended up taking it for $1,200 the next morning, but it wasn't fun. And I gave up like 5 hours of sleep and I was on the couch. But I got myself out. I used the 1 minute, 200 MA. When we got back above it, I held strong. I realized not to panic sell and I got through, but it wasn't easy. And so make sure you have that confirmation button on. Double check your stuff. That got me. And I do this stuff all the time. So make sure you have what is the confirmation window? It's when you open up a trade. Like, say I'm going to open up a trade here on weeks. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to long the bottom right now. I'm just going to long it all the way back to 108,000. I got this. Nobody's better than me. I can do this. Someone comes in and hears and say that and think that's what I'm saying, right? But I'm just making jokes. And then we look like, I don't know, let's say 106,900. I'm just doing it at random numbers. Don't like. But the idea is then if I were to go and hit open long, a confirmation window come in and I can read this stuff out and then hit confirm. I really believe this is important to have. If you're not using the confirmation window, it gives you that added second to double check what you're doing, make sure everything's right, and you don't just rush into the trade. You know what I mean? I personally use it. I love it. I think it helps. Again, on BitNX, I don't use it because BitNX I'm scalping quick and I really don't have time for a confirmation window. You can see, look, the 1 minute lost the 200 MA, bearish. The 5 minute is below the 200 MA, bearish. I told you when the 1 hour loses the 200 MA, and it lost it definitively in a bear flag here. Look at this. It made a rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time, and it came on down to Papa. Look at that. Rejection by the 200 MA. You all know this. All my students know this. They know if you don't get it back of that 200 MA on the 1 hour, you should be taking profits or waiting for the flag. So like if you're my student and you missed this, you would have flagged this out and waited for the 21 to cross. If it didn't, bang. You could even have shorted this with a stop on the other side of the 200 MA. That's just like the long when we get in here. We've longed this 100 times. How many times have I longed a flag when it bounced off the 200 with previous support and resistance? Flipping the charts upside down are going to help you have key insights to see what you didn't see before. And now you're going to be able to kind of flip your bias and use it for yourself, not against yourself. Flipping the charts upside down is like, wow, I had this reserve, but actually it became my strength. And, there's a chance I could work with this. I'm looking for some type of right shoulder to get made here. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get back to brass tacks here for the weekly. So Let's pull a Fibonacci. Let's see what's happening. From this impulse here, which to me was like the major impulse, I pull a fib, and I could see a pullback to the 618 Fibonacci. Definitely looks likely. We get this pullback down to the 618 fib. That key area is somewhere at about $100,300, and then this thing rips a new one. That becomes a bit of a Sammy cup and handy there, and we get ourselves a move to the upside. Sammy cup and handy to the upside, and we just keep it pushing, keep it moving. Bang, bang, bang. It does not stop. So I'm looking for this key level, 135,045, but not without a possible pullback here. 618, 98,099. That'd be great if they wicket below 100K, get everyone freaked out again, create that fear, get us back to 60. We kind of need the fear to reset a little bit right now. We're getting very high in the greed, right? You get to 89, 80 even, you got to start thinking, dang, we're headed towards the premium. Whenever this is high, that's premium. Whenever this is low, that's discount. You got to buy discount. You can't be buying the premium. Premium is when you're overbought, away from the 21. Stretch, the 21's away from the 200. You're high on the stochastics on the 4 hour, the 1 hour. Bigger time frames are getting overheated. You are in the premium. You're paying too high for the price compared to how it usually is. Look at any stock, any place. You want to be getting the discount. Buy the bottom, sell the top, baby. How do you do that? It sounds so perfect, sounds so easy. Years and years of practice, all right, of battling through your emotions, finding out who you are, and making it happen. I met so many people that solidified what this channel does, what I do for a living, and how I get there to yesterday at the conference. So many people came up to me and said, man, the way you talk, the way you show up, your consistency has changed my life. Tons and tons of people went up to me. I'm telling you, must have been 100 people or something that said, hey, I love your channel. You've changed my life. Then we had 50 people at the Lifer meetup. It felt like maybe more. Unbelievable. We had open bar, even though I don't drink. It's cool. I don't stress, And if you wanted to come there and get a drink, relax, have a time, it was there for you. And so I think we spent about $3,000 open bar, had a beautiful time, all for my lifers, man. I love y'all. Thank you so much. Then we had a beautiful dinner at Hell's Kitchen. Unbelievable. And then I'll throw it out there. Serena from 2Bits, man. 2Bit, a new exchange coming out there. They're, looking to try to ring the lifer, and they want to see if we could work together. They ended up paying for the whole dinner at Hell's Kitchen, man. Like, this is insane. And I was able to take I had 8 people. I had scheduled that dinner months ago. I thought I was going to take care of it. I had no plans of anyone taking it. And at the last minute, she says, could I jump in on the res? I'd like to take care of it. And I was like, what? You want to come to dinner and then pay for dinner for 8 people at one of the biggest, most expensive restaurants in the world? By all means, come on in. And so that's the lifer life, man. Shout out to Greg Novak, one of the first OG lifers that ever watched me. 30 people on my stream, dude. Must have had 1,000 subscribers. He's here in the studio. He said, can I come in? I want to see what you do behind the scenes. I said, come on, Greg. At first, I was a little weary because I feel weird when people watch me. But I think he's in another room watching. He's around, though. He's around. And he helped me, too. He helped me check on the audio and everything. So there's always a lifer holding it down. And shout out to everyone that came to dinner last night. Shout out to anyone that came to the meetup. Unbelievable times to be alive. Let's get back to brass tacks. I know you don't want to hear about my life. All you care about is the charts. I get it. That doesn't help you make gains. You just want to hear about how you can make gains. So look, the weekly looking like it could come back down. Now I think that's your most bearish scenario. And we still pump to the upside. We're still 135,000 somewhere by October 20th. But this makes more sense. Everyone thinks Bitcoin's going to go faster, harder than it does. It takes its time. It has a lot of money. Shout out to Rave Song Records coming through to dinner with the college shirt looking fresh. He had like the artsy musician, but he was still looking fresh. He did it in such a way. He had a Bitcoin shirt on yesterday, running around the event. The guy was the man. Shout out to Crypto Billy showing up. Shout out to Jimmy Bitcoins. Jimmy, why we love you, Jimmy. Please see ZBCN. That thing does not stop. We're going to take a look at ZBCN. Shout out to Jorge Torrens. So yeah, if Bitcoin pulls back to the 618, $100,200, I wouldn't be surprised. It's showing weakness, right? Since the high at 112,000 there, and then this will close Sunday night, and we're getting closer and closer. Now this could change and flip up to green, and we could have a huge pump. I don't know what's going to happen. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I will tell you, if you watch this channel a lot, I'm pretty accurate over the probabilities. So you tell me. Just keep watching. I don't even have to say it. You find the probabilities yourself if you watch my channel enough. So here, coming back down to the $100,250 level is something that I'll be watching. There is a beautiful resistance here that the weekly could hold. So there's another option in the bag that we have more of a sideways flag. This would be great. This would be really bullish. Why is this a little less likely? It's the distance in the 21. So we're going to move on and slap on the moving averages here. This white line is the 21-day moving average. You add it to your chart by hitting MA, adding a moving average simple. Click on that. Go over here to your settings. Click on 9. Flip that to a 21. Go to style. I like to turn it white. I think you should rock with me and turn your colors the same as mine. It's just going to help you in the long run. That beautiful white line. I don't need it. I already have it. I'm going to delete it. I actually add a 5 MA ribbon that you could add to as well. You can go up in here and type in CBC 5 MA DRS. That was my mentor who has passed away. CBC, man. And we made him this indicator years ago using the 5 moving averages, the 21, the 50, the 80, the 100, and the 200. And you can see when they're tight together, that's when I start to get in. When they start to get far apart, when the 21 and the 200 are getting distance, it's telling me there's something going on. It's telling me that price action is starting to waver a little bit. There is a bearish divergence too on the weekly. We're going to talk about all this and break it down. What is bearish divergence? Bearish divergence is when the RSI is swinging down, but price action is swinging to the upside. Some say, but you had bearish div here. That played out. Now you're having a secondary movement, but I still see a possible bearish div here. No doubt about it in my mind. That could possibly swing down. You're getting overbought on the stochastics RSI. The MACD is headed a little high. Still has some legs though, and we're just crossing the dotted line on the RSI. We could continue, but that is bearish div. And so a lot of people would short that, and they'd short it rightly. Like I would say, that would be the right thing to do, to short tweezer tops with bearish divergence. Like opening a short right now with a stop above the top of these wicks could become a head short, right? You just see, because if it dumps, you're covered. If not, you can raise a long back up to the short. Sad thing is you won't make much money on the pump back to 112, but you'll break even, and then you can take the bigger trade further up. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying to you should be taken as financial advice, but these are just some ideas. Bitcoin taking a free fall to the downside here, 106,400 on a low liquidity. And we had unemployment today. We're going to show you how unemployment came in. Was it hot? Was it what was it all about? Let's take a look here at forexfactory.com on the calendar, right? This is going to show us kind of what the information was at 8:30 with unemployment, which was at 5:30 in the morning here. So unemployment claims were higher than previous and forecast. It's not a great sign. We want to see that the Fed is curtailing inflation, and we would like to see, that's a good sign. That unemployment going up is a little bad for the market, and it could create a little bit of a sell-off in the NASDAQ and the S&P, and also affect Bitcoin. So August is the month for the past 3 years. Bitcoin goes short. Yeah, Bitcoin usually does dump in August every single time. So this would make sense. A six-week pullback somewhere to 99,000 by August 4th. And then we start to get the pullback. June and July are pretty slow months. Usually is a slow bleed in June and July. We got the pump into May. So anything could happen. I'm open-minded, but overbought here on the stochastics RSI, tweezer tops forming. You got to start looking at a bigger pullback here. And again, you can be like, but I missed that initial short. That's okay. That's really when the short begins. Just like this is when the long begins right here. Be like, oh, I missed that pump, but look how much pump happened. You got to zoom out and look at the bigger time frames. That's really going to help you see what's happening and make a better decision of what's going on. Like you can't just jump in to smaller time frames, believe it's all going to work out. It's just not how. That's not the play. Overbought on the stochastics here on the 5-day chart, and you have bearish divergence in the 5-day. And you're away from the 21-day moving average. If we don't get even a sideways, even we could get 15 days of sideways price action. That's what we're looking for. That's your most bullish scenario. I do not see a pump happening in the next few days. I just don't. I don't see it. There was a chance that this daily broke out of what's called a symmetrical triangle, but symmetrical triangles mainly break to the downside. This has a bit of an Adam and Eve vibe to it. That's your Adam, that's your Eve. They break down too as well from the neckline. Like that's just, you can see it, right? I'm not making this stuff up. I'm showing you what's going down, Now, the daily could end up making a bull flag, but see how far it is, the 21, the 200, the 50. And I'd love for it to bull flag out and continue to pump. And there's a chance that we do get this. How can we figure this out? The 1 hour would get back above the 200 MA. Then I'd be able to go long. And I'd use my strategies on the small time frames to tell you what I see happening. All right. So, yeah. Oversold on that daily, getting lower. RSI has a lot more room to go down, though. So you can see, and there's even a bearish divergence here. I was telling people, this is bearish div. They both trend up, but this one trends up way more aggressively than this line. If you were to continue to draw this line and continue to draw that line, they would intersect somewhere here. That's divergence. Divergence means that the two angles will cut each other off. They'll intersect with each other, diverging, divided, right? So people don't realize this. So a lot of people learn divergences, but they don't understand what it really means. It means, very simply, if you follow the trajectory of these lines, I get off that dotted line, you can see that's your trajectory basically, and then you can take this one. You can see, and they're going to interact somewhere around here, right? Clearly, right? That means there's a divergence. That means those angles divide, and that tells me that price action could struggle, and it did. Understand? Now, there's a chance the flag still broke out. You never knew, so I took a shot. But bang. And you even had bearish div on the indicator here, kind of showing me that there was some bearish divergence as well. That's a red R. I use this indicator. It's called Stochastics RSI with divs. Okay? It's a great indicator. If you go up here, type in RSI and hit Stochastics RSI with divergences by neobutade, that is my sauce, baby. That is my sauce. Hold on 1 second. I got to clear my throat, and I don't want to, you don't have to be hearing all that. So let me just mute the mic for a second here. All right, back on track. Okay, so moving forward, Bitcoin looks like it could be struggling on the daily and the weekly. But everyone's so bullish, and there's so much happening. What do you mean, Sammy? I don't understand. I just take it one step at a time. I don't use the philosophical tweets that people say and why the market should be going a certain way and FTX and stable coins and all this. I don't do that. I just look at the charts. I say, what is the charts telling me? They're going to give me the best way in and out of this situation, and I'm going to use the charts to find my way in and out. Now, we could have 5 more days of sideways price action, and then we're either going to drop further down or attempt to try to get a bounce. I'm not against Bitcoin pumping here. It doesn't look amazing. The bigger time frames are starting to take over. You look at the 4 hour. Right now, I want to show you something that you have to take into account. Wow, what a bounce for Bitcoin. It bounced from 106.5 all the way back, or 106.350 all the way back to 100K. It's crazy. So I see a couple things happening here. Bearish scenario, this is kind of shoulder, head, right shoulder-esque, and we're going to dump somehow through this. And that takes you to the 200 MA on the 4 hour time frame, right? Again, it looks a lot like this pattern here. See how like we break out, break down, and then break out again? Break out, break down. Could we break out again? I'm open-minded. It's been tough. They're making it a little tough. They want to hide the probabilities, but I'll find them. They're going to leave a clue that they can't hide. See, that's what the market maker, whoever does this, doesn't realize, that they live in a math system, and they can't escape the math. So if they live in my system, they're going to leave a trail of math somewhere. And if I study the math hard enough, I'm going to be able to catch them and see what they're up to. You get it? That's kind of the skill of trading, is understanding how they can't leave the universal math features of our universe. Like, they can do all they want, but they're going to leave some type of divergence in their path. There's going to be something happening there that you've never seen. You know, nice call on that bounce, Mega Parshawn. God bless you, brother. I hope you got your recognition and you pat yourself on the back there. So look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. Can we get a bounce further down? I mean, we lost this high volume node. It suggests you're going to 104,000. Now, the bears tried numerous times yesterday to break 107,000. They just couldn't seem to do it. They tried it this morning. Couldn't seem to do it. So there's this insane support at 107K. It's like some whale comes in from Abu Dhabi and buys billions every single time we get there. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. 100%. You can't change where you're going to be, but you can change basically a ship is steering in the ocean. You turn that thing a half a degree, it ends up in a different place in the next 5 weeks, right? You're the same way. Say your life's going a certain way. You don't like that. Let's just turn that a slight degree. Let's just twist you this way a little bit. You'd be surprised how much a change that will have on your life in the next few weeks. You haven't gone to the gym, try 15 minutes a day. Try 10 minutes a day, then expand to 15. A few months from now, you're doing it a half an hour a day, and next thing you know, it's, 3-4 of those sessions, you're in the gym for 2 hours a week, and you add that up, now it's 8 hours a month, and you start packing in the weight, right? So it's all about the grind, and every time you want to do something, think about and become a multimillionaire with money, because people think money is different than working out in the gym. Because it's like they can't hold it, it's not tangible. They think like trying to make all this money is just, you know what I mean? They focus on all that, and they don't focus on the building. Focus on your money just like you focus on going to the gym. Nobody got big in a week of going to the gym, right? You don't all of a sudden, and here's another cool thing. Say you make a mistake, say you lose a trade, say you do get liquidated, say something happens, you don't do the right thing, okay? That's like a guy who's supposed to go to the gym, but he doesn't, right? He misses a day, that's okay. Does missing one day at the gym make you lose all your muscles? Say you've been going to the gym for months. Does missing one day at the gym make you lose all your muscles? No. Missing multiple days at the gym will relate to that. So, you can make one mistake, but you can't make two. Never miss 2 days is Jim Rohn's number one thing. I never miss a day because I don't want to have to say I had to miss 2 days, right, and then have to come back. The streak is alive as long as you keep it alive. Your momentum will keep going if you don't stop the momentum. I'm still riding the wave I started when I started the stream 4 or 5 years ago. That wave never ended. I'm running on that same energy, that same push, but I stop for a couple days. I stop for a week. I lose the momentum. That momentum starts to drift. And I'm telling you, momentum is what makes people super successful, keeping up on their own momentum. That's very difficult to do. A lot of people can't do that. It's very, very difficult. So look, bounce, 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 bounce. This area at 107,000 just keeps holding us down. However, it doesn't look amazing. The pattern is pretty sketch. It's Chop City. But hey, what goes down must come up. We're getting more oversold. Let's take a look at our 15-minute time frame. It's attempting to get a V-shaped recovery right back to the upside here for Bitcoin. Not going to tell you I know what's going to happen perfectly. This has been some treachery. I gave you that 5-minute call last night, and besides that, I've been off of the charts, right? That was just a beautiful move, though. You got to love that. Beautiful wick. They basically stop hunted everybody out right there. I do got Bookmap on my other computer. I couldn't load it up. I'm using a computer at Sin City Crypto. But I got a big bar of liquidity at 110,000. So there's a lot of shorts that just jumped on in at 110K, says Bookmap. There's a lot of liquidity up there. Could we jump back up there? I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I'm not saying open up a long and turtle soup, but it's a possibility. Let's take a look at our 1 minute. We should be seeing an inverted head and shoulder, right? Oh, there it is. I'm about to trade that right shoulder right now on BitNX. Dang, I just missed it. I like that right there. I see the pump up to the 200. The chance we catch the daily bottom here, right? BitNX, nice and quick and easy execution. I get the confirmation window there too, right? Boom, go to the plus sign. I can drag my take profit up to that 200. And I can drag my stop loss down below the 21, all right? That's going to be a smooth 94 for 274. That's a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Let's see if this shoulder, head and right shoulder, I would have gotten in there because now it's going to possibly come back down to the 21-day moving average. Now I need to see some type of flag here. Show me the reversal, Bitcoin. I've seen this on the 1 minute many, 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 many times. So let's get it. Pump up to that 200. Let's get this short squeeze going. I know we can't. Oh, I just dropped a stack of money. A stack of money, man. Look, just, when I go to Vegas, I just bring 10 grand, you know what I mean? And I just start throwing money around. I'm like, you know what? Here's $100 for you, and here's $100 for you, and here's $100 for you, and you know what I mean? Just throwing out hundreds to everybody. There you go. Hey. Oh, man. The $100 bill, baby. Blue faces over here. Nothing but blue faces. These rappers on Instagram, right? Hit my Instagram, trade Bitcoin. The weirdest thing ever, man. It would jump in your chat and interact with people who you're funny, man. They really want to lock out the sideliners. 100%. Yeah. Wow, Crypto Billy throwing shots at Rob, man. You're fucking, you're messing with Rob, man. Oh, man. Look, 107,420. This thing is ripping. It's already up 6%. I told you I'm the king of 3%. Nobody makes 3% faster than the lifer, man. I'm telling you that. That money looks fake. Of course it's fake. Are you serious? You really thought this was real money? You thought I'm sitting here with $10,000 worth of stacks? Why would I do that? It makes no sense. I got Bitcoin, man. I don't need no money. And now we're up 11 or 12% on the pump, getting the move back to the upside here. If you were far more aggressive than me, maybe able to make a day's pay out of that move, but I'd be careful. Now we're looking for the flag on the 1-minute time frame to interact with the 21-day moving average stochastic to reset and to move up to the 200 MA. You know, this is my high-risk play. I don't like to do this. I did this a lot back in the day. This was my thing. But I noticed it was treachery, and I waited to get above the 200 MA. I found it was a higher probability play. This has a lower probability, but better reward. So there's higher risk on this trade when you get in below the 200, but there's a higher reward, right? Because you got that extra move. Now, what I also like about these trades is sometimes we get back above, then I see my model, and I'm already in. I love trades that I see my model, but I'm in like an hour before the model, and because then I know there's a high probability we're going to move. And it gives me just, wow. It's like my favorite thing is being in a trade aggressively, seeing my model play out, and I'm already up like $100, $200, and my model's starting to come in. Then I know I'm high likely going to make my day's pay 500 to 1,000 and go from there, you know. I was shorting this morning, but it pumped, so I came out. Hey, what's up, Sam? You concerned about the weekly bearish div? Yeah, I talked about it. It doesn't look amazing. It's definitely something we have to look at. But I see weekly pullback. It makes sense. And I'm not concerned, really, because it would be a healthy move. What I would be concerned about if Bitcoin kept pumping out of nowhere, just straight up. You know, I haven't seen that. So, you know, we don't want to see Bitcoin continue to pump. We want to see pumps consolidation. As boring as it is, this is what we're all looking for. This is what we need. So you don't want Bitcoin to go straight to the upside. It's going to have a nasty crash if it does that. You're looking for these nice lateral movements to the upside. You're looking for these nice, you know, slow grinds up with these big pumps to the upside. So far, we've been getting everything we've asked for absolutely beautifully. Someone said it bounced off the 200 MA. Which one? Which 200 MA? Look at that beautiful move to the upside, up 12% of the trade. Beautiful wicks going down here. You said it bounced off the 200. Which 200? The 1 hour? No, it got rejected. Look at the size of that wick. They're playing with people right now. I do not short these I can't short a massive uptrend. It's just very difficult for me to do. It goes against everything I say, you know. Thanks for the insight, man. Many blessings. Shout out to Cresco Crypto, Lakochi Coker in the house, Kim Shrum Hang. Shout out to Allison J. Shout out to Shadow World, Diamond D, Blady Agoli, and Ian Aaron, A Rose, Crypto Billy in the house. 2 hours, 200 MA. The 200. It bounced off. Yeah, you're right. Look at that. It bounced right off the 200 MA on the 2 hour time frame. Let's talk about that. I told you guys that actually. Remember yesterday? I said if we lose the 200 MA on the 1 hour time frame, we're going to go to the 200 MA on the 2 hour time frame. How do you know this, Sam? I don't know. I back tested this for years and I just know it. I just know that's what's going to happen. You lose the 1 hour 200, you drop to the 2 hour 200. I've seen it thousands of times in my life. It happens all the time. Shout out to Lifer Adam, the bestie of the game. You're the man, Sammy. I took it as a hit at the 104. Shorts getting wrecked already. Can you check NVIDIA for me in some major longs? Shout out to 8, man. God bless you. I hope you get out of those major longs with massive gains and you fly me out to your island. That'd be awesome. I would love that. So look, nice bubble. 1, 2, 3, almost a quadruple bottom here in some sense of the game. I still see this head and shouldery. It doesn't look amazing. I don't know if this is going to really, you know, something about this pump looks fake to me. A lot of manipulation in the market. 15 minutes got the banana curve. I'll go with it. Let's rock the 15-minute for the next hour. Let's see where it goes. The likelihood of it pumping are high. The probability suggests MACD turning. RSI hit the bottom, wants to turn up, and you got the banana curve on the stochastics RSI. Let's double-click that. Let me show you. When you see this aggressive curve up, you haven't got to the dotted line yet, man, that tells me there's a nice move likely coming. Look at this. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. There was a head and shoulder right there beautifully on the stochastics RSI. You can put a head and shoulder on. You can put the patterns on any pattern. But that told you were going to dump. It was right there. Like, it told you were going to dump. Look, I'm looking at just the stochastics. You double-click anything and you can get the whole chart. Look, that told you were going to dump. You could see the clear head and shoulder there. It wasn't as apparent here, but it was very obvious here. Again, I teach my students when we lose the 200 to short the market. That's your debt. Yeah, and look at that. Once that candle closed below the 200, open up a short with a stop on the other side. Bang, bang, bang. I can't be everywhere, right? There's people from all around the world in my stream, and I trade, and I sleep 5 hours a night. So I can't give you every single trade. What I can give you is how to identify every single trade that I would have taken. Give you my vision so you can do what I would have done at the same simple time, right? That's the key. That's the strategy. That's the way. I have a short from 110, and from my perspective, it should drop a bit more. Low chance, bigger all-time high. The devil is in the details. Amen. I don't even say the devil. I don't even know where the devil is. The devil's afraid of God. That's what I'll tell you, though. Made money from the long through 200 upward to ETH. Was just scared if ETH pumped. Because when ETH pumps and dumps, it can have a titanic move. Yeah. Sam, I'll fly to the dirty Jers. Well, live stream at the shore. I love it, man. I love it. Even though I ain't going to dirty Jersey, though. I spent my time in 20 years in New York City. I'm all set. I like New York City, but I'm going to visit now. I'm done living there. Big move to the upside here. 107,500 for Bitcoin. We opened up a trade here live on BitNX. It got a beautiful pump. I saw that inverted head and shoulder up 15%. Now the flag looks like it may continue to the upside. The consolidation is real. The shorts are getting squeezed. We may have our day's pay here. And I give you this live. I do this live every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. And I show you how to take advantage of the market in many different ways possible. We're going to move our stop loss to break even the second this thing gets near the 200 MA and above this resistance at 107.8. That would be the execution for the stop loss to break even. Then we go from there. I can shave a little bit of the risk off the stop already because I'm using the 21 to cover. And here we get the pump. All right. Okay, so yeah, there you go. I mean, it's $108,529 trade. It's a bigger trade, you know. Ripping, 107,006. Who's in the gain right now with the lifer? Bang, bang, bang. Who's in the gains with the lifer? Put a 333 if you made gains. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Spend your time wisely hanging with the people you love every single time, man. Every single time. Bang, bang, bang. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Is anyone in gains? Put a 333 if you're in gains. Let's go. Put a 777s if you're loving life. Shout out to all my beautiful people here on the live. Thank you so much for being a part of my life and hanging out. Shout out to the 2,000 people here on the live stream. 546 likes, $21 in chat revenue. They can't stop the energy. They can't stop the momentum. We're on the way, baby. I just can't stop, baby. I'm feeling it. I love it. If I lose this trade, so be it. If I win this trade, so be it. I'm playing the game. And I'm an active participant. At one point, I'm going to win if I keep pushing and I keep believing in myself. Because only so many people are going to win. But the people that are going to win are the people that have that high energy, high frequency, and say there's no other option. I'm either winning or I'm going to keep going until I win. There's no other option. Shout out to the 777s. Shout out to the 333s. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Let's check out NVIDIA for the 8-man and see what's happening. As this comes back to the 21 makes a flag, there is a bit of a double top there. All right, and maybe this comes down and I get stopped out and I lose my money. There's a chance I lose money here. And understand your risk, okay? Understand your risk. Bang, bang, bang. Never explain your positions to anybody. If someone says, why is your position small? Why? You don't have to explain anything to anybody. You trade the way you want to trade. Someone just asked me, why is your position so? It's none of that person's business, really, what my position is. They should be really worried about their position and learning about technical analysis. That's all that really matters. You know what I mean? That's all that matters. Get the sauce from me. Like, you just asked a question that actually is counterintuitive to your behavioral learning. Sit back, let the watcher teach you, let the lifer teach you how it goes. Okay? Look at these pumps right in front of you. It's how you make $100 in under 10 minutes. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. We got into the trade here. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, and it's $100. Not many people make $100 in 10 minutes. It's actually not that small of a trade. It's $23,000. It's a 23. Yeah, it is smaller than no, but it's a $68,000, 68x leverage, right? I'm just going for my gusto. I hit that. I do that 3 times a day. I'm making $1,000 a day. To me, it's really not that small. You're small thinking, in my humble opinion. You overtrade. You know, it's the other way around. You don't understand how to trade. This is a perfect position. You know, I'm feeling out the market. God bless. Once this gets above this key level, I'm going to move that stop. I'm going to move that stop loss to break even right now. Now I'm covered. I can't lose any money on the trade. All right. I also use smaller amounts because a lot of people don't have big money like I do. They didn't make it like I made it. I want to equate to the guy who's out there with his $1,000 portfolio. I want to show him that he can do this. He can open up trades with $300, $400, $500, and he can turn it into $100 every couple of, there's money out here. If I show all these giant positions that you guys can't make, what does that do for you guys? I might have some huge positions. I don't want to, maybe it's security. I might have a position so big, I don't want even anyone to know how much I made on that position. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know my life. What you do know is that I'm teaching you, and that's the key. So get my knowledge, get the information, and stop sweating my wallets, all right? It's not going to do anything for you. God bless everybody here on the live. So let's keep this moving. We just moved the stop loss to break even. There is a bit of bearish div. I'm not liking the trading today. Like it's been chopped. You can see Bitcoin's been in chop, up and down, left and right. In fact, I know even on the 1 minute right now is a little sketch with the way I've been watching the markets. But, inverted head and shoulder, reversal back to the upside. I'm going to take what the market gives me and go from there. We might make this giant inverted head and shoulder too. Like this could be the shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. We break on out of here to the upside. Bit of a kind of a cup with a handle there. That would be the cup handle. We'd break out of this. This would be your handle down there. I hope you're kind of with me. I'm moving pretty fast. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for BTC right now. Let's take a look at Ethereum. And wow, we saw the bounce on the daily reversal. Is it sustainable? That's the key. Is it a sustainable reversal? It's starting to, I like it because it's not these flash. Whenever you're just going to flash move up and it's crazy, that's not sustainable. That's a stop hunt that's going to come back down pretty fast. But right now, this is sustainable. Sideways price action, 21 coming in. And then you could crack that 200 MA and go for the glory. Here's the deal. You lose 107.4 again. This whole thing kind of, turns into not happening. We bounce back down to 106.9 and we go from there. So stop wallet watching. What's the point? I think it's retested against breakout for the descending structure. I know there's nobody like Sammy cup in handy. Amen, brother. Amen. Good morning, Greg. Shout out to Greg Novak in the house. Shout out to Sean Walker, Darwin Vargas, FLP Project, Spinner Trades, The Goonie, 510C, and Sean Walker. Jennifer Moffitt, always holding me down. God bless you, Jennifer. We love you. Thanks for saying this, Sammy. Working with a small portfolio here. Many times I get frustrated because I only make $20 to $30 on a trade while you make thousands. I'm just trusting that it'll work out over time. I was in a trading group with a guy, my mentor. He made millions of dollars in front of me. He bought a Lamborghini. He did things I wouldn't believe. And I was sitting there with my little trades. I never, I just said, hey, my mentor's there and teaching me. He's showing me how he made it. He's showing me the lifestyle that could be had if I push myself. And I had a mentor, and I talked to him every day. And, he recently has passed. I don't know the whole story, but I know that he's not around anymore. And it devastates me. He came up last night at my meetup. Someone knew him, and she talked about it. And Tracy, man, thank you, Tracy. You got to the bottom of my heart there. I had so many heartfelt conversations with so many lifers yesterday. It changed my life. Let's take a look at the altcoins and see what's happening in these alts as we do get a bit of a bounce here for Bitcoin. Not a lot of faith in all these trades. Look, the worst could happen, I just get stopped off at break even. I'm also traveling, and it's just been more difficult to stay focused. Today's going to be a day of meeting people. You're at Bitcoin Las Vegas. I got to take these times to really be in the present moment. So, and that's not easy, but I trade every single day of my life. Maybe a couple days a year, but I'm almost like, nope, can't do it, Sam. We got to get a bounce here. It's pretty crucial. If not, this could make the right shoulder, and then this whole thing's. That's why I tell you, I'm always wary trading this stuff before you get above the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame. We get above the 200 MA on the 1 minute, this will change everything. Will likely very well pump to 108,000. You see? So there's a lot of love on the table right now. I'm trading on BitNX. Link to BitNX in the description. A link to Weeks as well, and BTCC exchange, which is awesome. That's where you could trade the NASDAQ, the Tech 100 they call it. You could also trade Tesla, I believe gold, Apple, and a bunch of other regular stocks. So hit the link here to BTCC. Unbelievable BTCC. You got to really love it. And they have a beautiful landing page here. Create your account. 10% bonus on your first time deposit. So whatever you put in there, they're giving you, $3,000, you're getting 300. 10,000, you're getting 1,000. You see what I'm saying? A 10% bonus on your first deposit above $500. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Extra bonuses of up to $10,055 per user, and all users can enjoy up to 40% lower trading fees due to my community. Okay? Trusted by millions, Buy and sell 300 plus futures. No VPN, no KYC. Up to 500x, which is a little much, but hey, it is. And tokenized stocks and Forex. That's what a lot of people don't have. A non-KYC, non-VPN, and you can trade Tesla and the NASDAQ 100. Only at BTCC. I studied all these different exchanges. I'm looking at the best ones. I have never seen one, and so I'm using each one for different reasons. Scalping on Bitfinex. Weeks is my swing trades and separations. Mexi is for my gigantic $100,000 big boy trades because the fees are smaller. Why open up large trades with high fees? And then FEMA, and then here BTCC, so I can trade Forex and tokenized stocks. You see? And now I got everything at my fingertips. I don't need it. Now I could trade everything. I could trade gold, silver, NASDAQ, Bitcoin. Bitcoin slaps one day. I need to flip to the NASDAQ. I got it. You know, I want to create options. I'm going to start trading the NASDAQ more and more here on this channel. You're going to see me take over all markets. I'm going to show you how we could trade every single market with what I teach you, from Forex to gold, silver, oil. Heck, you could trade corn. Alaskan corn oil, baby. And man, Chop City. You know, the last few Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, about 3 weeks ago, all the flags, reversals. You know, that's a nice right reversal, though, to the upside. Now it looks like I'm going to get taken out. Will Sammy get taken out of the trade? We'll see. And someone also said, why small positions? Because the market doesn't look amazing. I don't go hard when the market's in chop. The bulls need to show me something. I'm just dipping my toe in to see how we go here. Look, that's a head and shoulder pattern. You can see it. You can see it. Patterns form in seconds right in front of you. If you can't change, switch it up, then you can miss out. The faster your brain is at recognizing the patterns, the faster you can take advantage of them. You get in them before everybody else and actually take the move. Now, how do you see patterns so fast? You just get really good at it. You start getting more acclimated with looking for them, finding them, and seeing what's happening. How do you know if you see two patterns that are conflicting? What do you do then? Well, you look at the moving averages. You look at the stochastics. When the stochastics are low near the 21, you're looking for that pump. Now you can see how we could make an inverted, and you can start to build what could be, because I've seen it before. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. It's all about mapping out, planning out, seeing it before it happens, and then executing on that probability. There's no other way. That's it. Shout out to the 598 beautiful likes here on the live stream. Thank you for every single one of you that hit that like button. That is blessed. You are blessed. Let's take a look at NVIDIA for my man, Ape, and see what's happening to NVDA, NVIDIA Corp. First thing I'm going to do is look at NVIDIA on the weekly. I was looking for a bounce for NVIDIA off this key level back to the top side. I did call that bounce. It happened beautifully. You can see me drawing it. All right. The last time I saw NVIDIA, I said, man, I see it bouncing back to the top of the channel and forming some type of consolidation. And this is telling me they're going to print money. They're going to print money. They're going to send these assets to Valhalla. It's only a matter of time. So one thing that could be sketchy is shoulder, head, right shoulder. But so be it. I like it. And this is the weekly. This is a big deal. You see, we got very oversold in the on NVIDIA on the weekly. And you can pull a Fibonacci from this impulse right there. And you're going to see the 786 retracement back up off that Fibonacci wick. So, bang. So now what for NVIDIA? Well, let's kind of fast forward and zoom in here to the 3-day chart. See what the indicators are showing me. A little roofed up, pretty high. I wouldn't be surprised if, just like Bitcoin, we get this couple week pullback. This slow June price action that I've seen many times in the summer. This just lagging, and we just kind of wait. It's a great DCA period because you get a lot of chances to get the alts at lower prices, and they're not as erratic. They kind of sit flat for a couple days here and there. I've never seen a better move. Everyone, I got a beautiful watch given to me at Bitcoin Miami, Bitcoin Las Vegas. So funny. It's made by Coin Vigilante. All right, go to Coin Vigilante and check out these watches. This is a Bitcoin watch. Super hot. I got both my watches on. I'm Kevin O'Leary right now. But seriously, this thing is sick. I got the orange one. Really awesome. All right, we're going to have a Lifer code, Lifer333. It may not be up yet, so give it a couple days. But if you really like these Bitcoin watches, they'll make limited numbers of them. They're pretty cool. I think they'll be commemorative and remembered. And even just for your own personal journey, I like them. They're pretty cool. They're not super expensive, like $1,200 to $1,000 depending on the brand. They're well made. I like the feel. I like the vibe. They look beautiful. And the guy who sells them is awesome too. I think Carlos, right? But I'll get everybody's name. We'll link up. But I love them. The watch is pretty cool, man. Check it out. I'll be able to give you guys some type of discount if you want. I thought it was cool. So it's a nice gift for, like, a son, family member, friend. You're not giving them like a $10,000 watch, but you give them like a nice $1,000 watch if they really like Bitcoin. Pretty cool. So let's get back to the NASDAQ. So I do see the NASDAQ possibly pulling back. It's oversold here, coming back down and bouncing off possibly, NVIDIA, sorry, I'm talking about the NASDAQ, coming back and bouncing back down here. Let's take a look at the NQ. The NQ would, look somewhat like the S&P. Let's see what we're seeing on the NQ. Again, roofed on the 3-day chart. It looks very similar. So we had this beautiful pump. A lot of money came into the market, okay? But you can clearly see how we may have to consolidate here. It'd be nice if we got a little more pump and we leveled off the top. But either way, I see price action consolidating. Then we're going to get tight, and then that's the move. That's the move right there. That says July, late July, we could start to get a pump on the NASDAQ. One thing, could it be a shoulder, head, right shoulder, and take us down, too? You never know. All right. Let's take a look at these altcoins, have some fun, and see what altcoins are doing damage out here and nailing on it or not. Let's take a look. So the top 20 search coins in the last 7 days. You've got Chain, GPT, SWE, Hyperliquid, been hot. Huma Finance, it's a new one, $95 million market cap. Starknet, Layer Zero, still pretty hot, but $266, hasn't hold $3. Celestia is back down. Solana holding 170 strong. Cookie Dow 24. NextSpace. Cookie Dow had a nice little pump. There's been some moves, but Pyth got slammed. It's crazy. I don't know how it gets back the way it looks, but. And so Hyperliquid, really one of the stronger coins, up 3% in 7 days and holding above 32. Allo's a new coin there, $18 million market cap, RWA. I know nothing about this coin. You may want to research ALLO. Just found it here on the channel for the first time ever. Puffverse, $6.7 million market cap. That thing is tiny. Be very careful. But again, Elderglade, another tiny market cap coin. Okay? No coin. Layer Zero XRP. So Elgrade. And again, these coins can go to zero or something. I'm not saying they're amazing. I'm just saying they're new. I've never heard about them. This is how I find new coins. I'm always researching, always adding something. So Allo is on my radar now. ALLO. Elderglade is on my radar too as well. Two coins I'm kind of watching a little closely. Puffverse, wondering what's up with it. Now, I may not touch any of these, but at least I know about them, and then I could execute if needed at another time, right? So I like what I'm seeing here for CryptoRank.io. Let's go to Hyperliquid. If anything could possibly swing trade today, it could be Hyperliquid. We're also getting into Ethereum in a little while. And send in your super chats for TA and deep dive. I greatly appreciate it. Hyperliquid, one of the strongest coins in the game, right? We already can see that it's been on a beautiful uptrend. It's held us down. It's done damage. What happened? Did I just delete price action? Oh, there it is. I was like, what happened there? So Hyperliquid had bottomed at $10, which is crazy, and did a 3x, almost a 4x, back to 39. Now what? It got a sell-off. Yeah, I mean, it was pumping when everything else was dumping, And so and the rising wedges, see, everyone says, I thought the rising wedges break down. This is how the rising wedge breaks up. It makes this parabolic vibe, and you'll feel it. You'll feel the parabola pulling you. Like, you'll start to see it. Now, once you break the parabola, that's a wrap. Like, we kind of broke the parabola there. And you can see that's what's going on. Moving forward with this true idea, though, is to learn from these rising wedges. Now, one thing I want to show you is the rising wedge will break up. 90% of the time, you're going to have low stochastics towards the end of the wedge. Because everyone says, but I thought the rising wedge broke down. It does most of the time, but it's the one that can really, really do damage. So when it pumps super hard. Identifying that ability between which rising wedge is going to pump, stochastics give you that key. I have a video about that in my trading group. We talked about it yesterday. But it's just something I revisited in my mind. I'm like, man, people should really understand that concept because that will make you amazing. Pulling back here, this looks like we could get a bounce back to the 618 Fibonacci retracement. Major sell-off. People were happy, and then Bitcoin's been struggling. And so they took their money out of Hyperliquid there from the top at 39. Very far away from the 21. If you sell when the price action gaps away from the 21 and the Stokes are high, 90% of the time you're going to be selling pretty dang close to the top. So what else do you want? Thank you so much for that. God bless you. I appreciate it. Jumping on in there on the live stream. We appreciate you, Sebastian, for the donation. Look at the balls jumping onto the jar there. Woo. Crazy. Crazy. Not that crazy, but it was a little crazy, you know what I mean? But jing. Okay. Moving forward. So, Hyperliquid. I could see it come all the way back down to possibly 28. The next bigger dip, this thing looks like it's a load up because it's got the most strength. People were watching it and they're saying, hey, this thing can go $100 a coin over time. Looks like we may be able to get it back at 29. Maybe even 26 on a wick. You never know. 28 looks like the lowest, though, for Hyperliquid. I'd watch this closely, and what I'm going to do is end up putting an alert on this puppy somewhere when I believe it'll bottom out there. So add an alert there. When it crosses that alert, it's going to let me know, and then I can reconvene and look at it. If Bitcoin gets some crazy pump, then fine. It's going to pump like this and consolidate. Then we can get into the consolidation there. I'm not about buying the perfect lowest price. I'm about buying the highest probability trade. Understand? The lowest price has a lower probability of winning. If I buy in here, I have a higher probability of winning. Yes, I lose that reward here from 32 up to 36. I get it. It's a big difference in some parameters, but I'll take 36 to 54 all day long. And if I get into 32, I have to worry about it dumping not going my way. I get it in here, there's a higher probability I'm going to win. So I trade the higher probability plays because why make it harder on yourself? It doesn't make any sense. You're your own hero, you're your own helper. Don't make things harder on yourself. If you already know the math and you use the probabilities, then use the probabilities. Don't play yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's already there for you. Someone's already done the math. They've been studying this for years before you even touch the chart. Millions of humans, thousands of humans have been playing with these charts, playing with these patterns, and giving us that knowledge. It was given back to us from other people. Understand? Every time you defy technical analysis, you defy the probabilities that have been taught for a long, long time. It's crazy. People don't realize that too. Like, that's the information that you're looking for. Let's take a look at this fan funding and see how it's coming in here. Always, baby, always. Love that. Can you check NVIDIA for me? I'm in some major long. Shout out to Ape. Can you look at ZBCN, says Jorge Torres. Jorge Torres, let's take a look at ZBCN. And that thing just hasn't stopped. It's been on a massive tear to the upside. Unbelievable. It just really continued. I had it hit my target at 0.59. Isn't that crazy? It ripped, came back down, and then ripped again. This thing has been ripping since we looked at it down here at 0.01. It's done a 6x. It's out of control. Like, it's out of control. It's crazy. It's been burning through zeros, this coin. And it's made many lifers happy. This thing continues to rip. Felt like there was a bearish div there, bounced down, then it ripped again. You got another bearish div. I don't know. Let's take a look at our daily. Our daily's ripping. And it's well away from the 21-day moving average. Stochastic's curving down while price curves up, though. That's very rare in that scenario. 12-hour almost says that it's not done, which is a bit absurd. See how the stochastics have more to go? I don't know what's happening with this coin, but it almost looks unrealistic, like this thing's going to moon. Thank you for the 5 lifer memberships. You didn't have to give, but you did. That will come back to you tenfold. Shout out to the 660 likes. Everybody here on the live, thank you for jumping on in. It is 8:15 in the morning here, specific daylight savings time. I hope you had your Wheaties. God bless everybody here on the live. We get all the way to 0.098954 here for ZBCN on a massive move. The 12-hour says yes. I don't understand this. It doesn't make any sense to me. This thing looks spent. But the 12-hour says it's got legs. And if the 12-hour's got legs, I'm going to flag out the 15 or the 1-hour time frame. That's how it works. I look at a bigger time frame. If it has higher probability of a move, I look for a small time frame for entry. Very simple stuff here. It's not rocket science what I'm doing. I may make it look more complex and quick because I talk fast, move quick. But it's really a simple way to trade. We want to see this 21-day moving average touch price action as we come down below the dotted line of the Stokes. We want to see the Stokes curve aggressively in that banana curve I taught you, while the 21 curves. And then we'd like to see ZBCN continue its tear to 0.722. And it's at 0.5. That's like 50 cents to 70 cents. Whenever I'm looking at these, you can't figure them out, just take the 0 off. And act like it could be $58 to $78. That's going to be your percentage gain. 23% gains here on a ZBCN. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to do this. It is a bit overbought. There's some bearish divvy here too. I personally wouldn't chase unless it gave me a very nice flag. You see what I'm saying? I just wait for high probability. You will too if you've been trading as long as me. You won't go for stuff that just doesn't look that good anymore. After years of trading, you're going to know. You're going to know. Let's take a look at ENA. Someone asked us about, and I still own this coin. I possess this in my portfolio. Let's take a look here. So it's got this moving uptrend. It's got this downtrend. Very, very tight. Okay? And then it can break on out to the upside here. And look, that's that same story, Morning Glory. Tight moving averages. A pump up to the 200 MA. You see? I'm not guaranteeing this. It is in a bit of a symmetrical triangle, but there's a chance. Bitcoin, 107,460. We're kind of still in limbo here. I'm still in the trade. Can you believe that? I'm still in the trade. We're hugging. And now we're flagging out. That's a flag. I would trade that flag all day. That looks like it's going to break out to the upside, my humble opinion. You got a nice little length of your pole. That would rip. I might even raise my take profit up to 108,730. Again, we got to get back above the 200 MA here, but we may have caught the daily reversal. Could have been the daily bottom right there at 106,005. We did this like 4 or 5 times in the last 10 days. I called the exact daily bottom on an inverted head and shoulder on the 1 minute. I'm getting deja vu. I know you are too. You ever heard deja vu? I just made it up. That's why you never heard about it. So, yeah, things happen on this channel. Innovative, brand new things you never heard about. $107,517. Look for this flag to break out, cross that 200 MA, and continue up to 108,760. Looking for this pump further to the upside. Stop loss above break even. I can't lose the trade. I've covered myself. All I can do is take a shot for free here and see what happens. No liquidations. My price down there at 106,000, but I can't get liquidated if you use a stop loss. Understand? Understood. We got it. ENA looks pretty interesting to me. Actually worth watching. To me, it's got the curving stochastics. The RSI itself is in a bull flag. All right, you can see it's in a tight flag. The MACD is showing lack of bearish momentum. Tight moving averages. I've seen us pump up. This looks very likely to me. I know Bitcoin's sketchy. The market doesn't look good, but I've seen these types of setups in my life play out so much. I do own this coin long term. Okay, but I'm not pushing my bags. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. Okay, never do what you see someone do on YouTube. Get the education, understand what I'm doing, watch me, and then you got to kind of find your own sauce, your own way, and get it going. I like ENA, and I can't believe I'm putting it out because not every coin looks good to me, but that has all the sauce that I look for. So it's got that je ne sais quoi. Can you check out 1 inch, please? Let's take a look at 1 inch. All right. When you do 1 inch, you have to type in a letter, then type in 1. You get it? If you just type in 1, it's going to think you're changing something on the parameters. You're not going to be able to get 1 inch. I saw them at Token 2049, and I hadn't thought about 1 inch in a long, long time. Funny, 1 inch looks just like what the guy just said there. And decentralized DEXs, there's something about the DEXs recently. And BlackRock just bought $54 million worth of Ethereum. It's getting crazy. It's getting hairy. It's getting heady. This looks good to me. I have to be honest. This looks just like what we just saw. And I don't even like this coin that much. It underperformed the last market. I think I got in at $1 and we sold at $6. I mean, that's underperforming. But compared to the rest of the market, it was slow. It pumped. Then it came back down. Then they were a DEX, but they said that U.S. citizens couldn't use the DEX. And to me, that's when they lost me. That's when I just was like, all right, like you guys I don't know what's going on here. I thought that's not how you do a DEX. You know what I mean? Just not how it works. This looks beautiful to me. If anything I've ever seen, this thing looks like it could do numbers for sure. Of all the coins I've seen, that's an ascending triangle getting very tight. The daily still has momentum to the upside. Again, you could get stopped out in 2 seconds and lose. There's no guarantees this trade's going to win, but it's a 292 per scored ratio. I'd like to stop below that wick, but that gives you only a 2-to-1. Unless you expand for a higher take profit, I'd be looking for that hit at the daily 200 MA to take profits in 1 inch. But look at the setup. Look at the setup. Look at the way the indicators are curving up. Again, you have that same bull pennant on the RSI. I like putting the RSI inside of a pattern. That can really kind of show you what's happening there, and that just, boom, 30 cents. And so we're going to copy this link. I like what I'm seeing here. Like, that looks hot. When I see hot sauce, I give it to the group. And I don't even like 1 inch. I'm telling you, I'm a little biased against it. But, man, when the TA is hot, I don't care what the coin is. I don't care what it is. I don't care what's going on. long as it's not hurting nobody, right? Doing something weird, I'm all about it. 1 inch looks good to me. Shout out to the super chat. Whoever gave 1 inch, you're on point, Jim. God bless you. Thank you. Shout out to Abe for NVIDIA. Shout out to 1 inch. Sebastian Ozfoth. Please analyze WIF on the lower time frames, he says. Let's take a look at WIF. And thank you so much for the super chat, Sebastian Osvath. And shout out to everybody that met me and told me their story yesterday, told me how much I meant to them, told me that I've helped change their lives. Couples said that they listen to me every day off grid. Man, it was the coolest people ever, bro. It was the coolest people ever. So look, I'm looking at WIF, and it's getting tighter of the channel too, and I got an alert for WIF. I like WIF on the daily. You want the smaller time frames, we'll take a look, but I like it on the daily. Again, Bitcoin's going to have to hold us down here. 107,430. It ain't bad. And altcoins are starting to look pretty good. That would be an aggressive entry for WIF right now. And it could rip to 182. Again, buying before everyone knows it's going to pump is how you make the most money, but nobody wants to do that. Indicators teach you how to do that. I see WIF doing damage. I really do. I still own a little bit of WIF, and it's the premier coin. It was WIF, then it was CHILLGUY, then things started to rip. Then we had GOAT. We had some big moves, man, in the last round. People say it wasn't a bull run, but I mean, there's 5Xs, 10Xs. And then in 2024, that October, or 2023, October, November, December, into January, we had an altcoin season then. There was 50Xs, 60Xs, 100Xs left and right. I'd never seen so many Xs in my life in altcoins. It was crazy. So there's been opportunity here. People just have been bypassed by it or acted like they were looking at something else. Like there was so much opportunity making money in Bitcoin, but a lot of people were chasing altcoins. So they missed the opportunity in Bitcoin. You know, not me. You saw me on this channel gobbling up BTC any chance I got. Any chance I got. I'm gobbling up more Bitcoin. You know, I'm not playing games with my life. I know that it's going to be the scarcest asset in the world. And if I don't take it seriously, I'm going to be on the sidelines wishing that I bought more. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to procrastinate. I don't want to say I shoulda, woulda, coulda. I sent you in with an edit to the picture with you and the lifers you uploaded last night. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll check it at another time when I have the chance. Sorry, but can you speak about Conch Network? Check at least the web and potential overpass in Solana. I'll look at it on my own, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got to take my own research before I jump on in there on the live. Just for the support, for the respect of everybody out here. I don't want to be throwing stuff out there. I don't know what it is. Let's take a look at RAI, please. Someone says Reploy. I still own this coin. We got into it somewhat early when it first came. Is it going to break out? What's happening to Reploy? RAI. Had a good following. Had a good team. Good concept. I don't know. You know, a 3-day chart's still overbought, and it's like hugging a higher low. Not my favorite thing. Doesn't have tons of information. The daily's in like this oversold flag. I'm going to go on a whim here. Not a whim, but I mean, that's your bottom. That's just so likely your bottom here for RAI. But look how many days you pump, then you pull back, pull a Fibonacci on this and take a look at the fib. It's right at the 618, golden pocket 618. Could slip a little more, but that looks beautiful. 80 cents possibly was the low, and then a pump up to $2.51. So this thing could do a 3X before you know it. I see a possible 3X sitting here. Just want to see what the next 2 days do. Let's take a look at our 4-hour time frame. That needs to push down a little bit, but it's getting pretty close to maybe making a higher low bounce. Everything's above the 200 MA. That's kind of shoulder head, shouldery. Super tight in price action. And it's kind of a descending triangle, right? I don't know. I'm getting mixed signals here, personally, you know, on RAI. Maybe it comes back down to 77 before it rips. I do like this resistance. Seems like support at 68 may hold. Just some mixed signals there. I do like this cup and handle. It is coming back down to a beautiful fib, a 618 fib. It may slip down to the 706 there. It just may. What is the 706? It's a fib, a secret fib that most people don't use. And I added to my chart near the 0.65 and the 0.706. I add both of those to my Fibonacci by going to the settings and just adding them right here, clicking on them. Now I make the 6.5 and the 0.618 white because you want to see the golden pocket very easily. These two are white. They stand out in the colors. That way I can see exactly where the golden pocket is, and that gets me going. Sam Hopewell as well. Can you look at IBIT side by side with Bitcoin? Are they similar? You see anything? Shout out to JV. IBIT shares, Bitcoin Trust. Yeah, I mean, they're exactly identical, man. It's the Bitcoin chart to a T. Yeah. It's going to follow Bitcoin. That's all. Bitcoin comes out of the pump and makes it. This is going to come out of the pump and make it. Sorry. So, I mean, what I really see happening is I got this top out. I got this here. And you can kind of see, like, it looks like Bitcoin may come back down. Like, I'll look at that same thing on BTC. But that just looks like you're headed back to the downside here. But for a bigger cost, like you're making a bigger rising wedge. It's got a cup and handle there. And then it's shoulder, head, right shoulder. And then that thing is gone, right? And so you got the rising wedge inside the shoulder. iShares could go to 81. Let's take a look at BTC here, USD all-time history index. I'm going to delete all the work here. But you can see it, man. We've been just doing it. It's really just in another flag when you really look at it on the 4-hour time frame. Holding 107,500. We're getting this bounce. Sammy's still in the trade. Shout out to Weeks. Shout out to BitDinex. Shout out to everybody. This trade looks like it's going to rip. I'm still in the trade. Look how close they are to my stop loss. Like right there. They're on me, but I'm still solid, baby. They can't get me. I'm creeping right below the wick. I can see how this flag breaks out. See the precision when you've been trading for a long time. You can really see that key area. That's really that's positional strength. Because man, when you can get in here that close to the high X leverage could contain a massive gains. There's 10 to 1s there, 11 to 1s on that key level. So those are that's a key level that I watch and I go for. Like the inverted head and shoulder breaks out and retest that key level there. You make the flag. And again, I could get stopped out in 2 seconds. I can't believe I didn't get stopped out yet. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin holding 107,450. That's this. And again, psychological is 107.5. Again, a lot of people keep selling that 107.5. The bears tried to break 107 though so many times. And I do get some mixed signals. Days you'll get like clear clarity on your like, yeah, I'm a 90% accurate, it's going up. And there's days where you don't. Can you check Virtual Sam? Looking for an entry. Let's take a look at virtuals for my man who's attempting to get into Virtual. I like Whiff. It's setting up pretty nice. So we're seeing some coins that are setting up pretty good. We got some nice setups here this morning already in the group. I mean, what if this thing just bull flags to the upside and we're gone, baby, gone? Anything is possible here for Bitcoin. That's why I stay open-minded. We get above the 1 hour 200 MA, I'm back to bullish. You get it? Like, I don't need a lot. I just need to see my strategy play out over time. This bull flag could break us up to 122,000, and that's when we might get a bigger pullback. Let's take a look at virtuals here in the altcoin window. Virtual, baby, virtual. On MEXC, virtuals protocol. So we called a breakout for virtuals. The entry here at about 218. We were even talking about earlier than that. It ripped all the way to 259. Great place to take some profit, and then it kind of dwindled. Is it going to continue to pump? What's happening? A lot of things tried to break out of the flag like this. They didn't. It kind of front ran it. Now I see, honestly, I'm starting to see these rising wedges form. And to me, like, that's a parabolic move to the upside. You're like, but Sam, rising wedges break? They do. But look, you have resistance, resistance, resistance. That could act as support, which would keep you in this upward flag. 21 crossing. The stochastics still look good. There's basically a flag here. But wow, bearish div. See, there's bearish div there. But you can say, the bearish div was there, and it played out, came back up. Nah, I'm still going to say there's bearish divergence there. So one of two things. We fill that flag or go more sideways. See how there's a golden cross coming? It tells me not to give up. It tells me that we're likely going to be somewhere at $4.20 sooner than later. So I have the charts are conveying to me there's going to be a bit of a move. Guaranteed? No, nothing is. So we'll see what happens here. Previous support is resistance. Getting the bounce. Can we continue all the way up to about $4.31 and 69 cents? Looks like we may get a couple more days of sideways price action before we figure that out. Lots of talk about ETH. What do you see? We'll take a look at Ethereum, man. Quant. We'll take a look at Quant, and then we'll jump into ETH because we'll probably spend a little more time on ETH than we've done in the past, right? So let's take a look at Quant. Yeah, actually, Quant looked more bullish than it ever had I think it was like a month ago when I looked at it. Funny, the last time I traded Quant, I was in Vegas 2 years ago. I traded this inverted head and shoulder here. I can't remember. I think this year, head, right shoulder. Yeah, that was November of 2023, October, November of 2023, right? It's crazy. I remember where I was when I trade certain things. Now, here you go. Look, this is my strategy. First, we had this rising wedge. It did end up breaking out. It's crazy. Wow, they stopped me out, man. You hear that? It just went to 290, and I got taken out of break even. I could hear it on BitNX. It's a really choppy day, man. Don't get yourself caught out here. Look at that beautiful flag for Quant. The 21 was crossing the 200. Price action was touching. The stochastics were low, and Quant broke out. It's crazy, right? So you're getting certain altcoins that just are kind of rivaling the market. Like the market's dwindling, and an altcoin's going to pump anyway. Same thing here, though, on the daily. Like you're a little overbought now, and you may have to make another flag back to the 21-day moving average. Quant's pretty big. That's a pretty big pump for Quant. So you think alts will go down today for the next few days? I don't think. I just look at the charts. Let's take a look at Total 3. That controls all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, get that whole what do you think is going to happen? Because you know that's not how I'm going to answer that question. You know what I'm saying? So you don't ask me what I think because I'm never going to tell you what I think. I don't think. I trade. I use the probabilities that the charts give me. I think to figure things out. I use my brain power, but I don't like speculate with my own mindset on what's happening to price action when I have data that's stronger than that. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So I do see a flag here for Total 3. We're going to have to get a bounce. I can see it going either way. It's a symmetrical triangle. Be pretty sad to see alts collapse back down to 829, I'll be honest. Like, that will stink. I'm not trying to see that. Low stochastics, RSI, and, you just kind of got back below the 200 on the daily there. It's just, I could see a dump. I could see a pump. It's a very aggressive place to enter. A lot of times you get rewarded for aggressive entries, so it's up to you. In the next 2 days, if we get the bounce off the bottom trend line, it's more likely we're out of here and no stress. Bull pennant to the upside, we're gone. We break this, the daily candle closes somewhere here, then you have to start thinking we're going through the gap back to $820 billion. So there's two things on the table here, and the charts are going to be able to tell us what's going to happen. 2 days from now, you're still tight in this channel. I'm in there like swimwear. The altcoins are starting to look better. You see there's a lot of setups that are kind of foreshadowing that there could be a nice move. Moving average, you can see the golden cross eventually coming too. There's a front run there. Look at that. It's a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio, and your stop is well below that key support. I mean, you can't trade this, but, I'm just looking at it, the idea. Should be able to speculate trade Total 3. You probably can somewhere on Polymarket or something. I don't know. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. The next 2 days, we need a bounce, and the altcoins will be safe. We don't get the bounce. Sorry, delete accidentally. We don't get the bounce. I mean, I could see this thing dropping back down to 832. So we got to take it one step at a time here. Hey, Sam, do you have a public playlist of the music for the streams? The music is really good. I do not, and I like to keep it to myself because everyone else would steal it, use it for their own. You know what I mean? Bro, this guy just said, whoa, weirdos. What a weirdo. Hey, Sam, do you have a public playlist of the music? No, I do not. Yeah, please get people out here that say weird stuff. Thank you. Yeah, put them on timeout. Ahmed, you're out. God bless you, brother. Thank you. I don't know what's going to happen to price action. I never told you I did. Okay? One step at a time. May want to get back in this flag and trade the flag. The flag could pump. The flag could pump. I'm here on weeks just looking at it clean. I wouldn't be surprised if we got the reversal back to the upside. But they've been stop hunting viciously. Like, they'll go right here and just nail everyone who took the flag. I've seen it a lot recently. It's been more vicious than normal. We were in a more uptrend. They didn't, and I don't know what happened. Did liquidity dry up? Something, I don't know. It's like they got desperate and finally had to start like taking out as many people as they could, when before they were a little more lackadaisical. Market maker, whoever controls the markets. Now you can see they're just not giving an inch. They're going after anyone they can. And it just makes me, I'm a little like, I trade less because it's sketch. That would be the trade on BitNX right there. And again, I'm not saying I'm opening this. I just like to see it. 108,748 for BTC. And then that stop's going to be at about, what, 107,218. Dang, man. It's been tight. It's been tight. Nice pump there. Again, the right shoulder did get the pump. Now, what's the risk on that, right? It's crazy. It's a 5-to-1, $100. It's almost an 8-to-1, it says. I don't know why. Maybe it came down a little bit. Yeah, it came down a little bit. Yeah, so it's 8-to-1 on the risk-reward ratio. I'm not loving today's trades, though, to be honest. $100 for $800 ain't bad, though. You know, like, that's kind of what you're looking for. Those are the type of trades I like to set up. Could easily lose $100, though. It's all, you know. The thing is, if you trade this 10 times and you lose it 7 times, you're going to lose $700. You win 3 times, you win $2,400. So risking $100 for $800, you're only you win the trade 2 times, and you're going to have more money. Again, that's the key of getting in at a better spot. Another reason why I show you all this chop, that's why I wait to get above the 200 MA. That's why I did what I did, and you saw, because it's really not my strategy right now. I'm playing Russian roulette in this key area. I know I could get hit off very easily. So I was very wary, very protective of price action. I'm not going to sit there and get stopped out and lose money for no reason. I don't need to do that. Today's going to be a great day for business, meeting a lot of people, having fun, and there's just no reason to lose money for no reason. I just don't see that, right? So, man, we're falling off. It doesn't look good. I'm getting mixed signals. I'm telling you that right now. There's times when your TA is going to give you mixed signals. You're not going to really be like, oh, this is exactly what's happening. You know? We're in chop, man. Look at this thing. It's chopped up nasty. All we want really now is, can we hold 107,000? Can we make some type of upward trending bottom, you know? So this is more like a flag than getting a flatter bottom. The flatter bottom makes it look more like a descending triangle that's going to dump on us. So the 2-hour got the bounce. Unbelievable. But how strong is the bounce, you know? Wow, so we're all just sitting, waiting on this. Look at this flag, bro. They even just elongated the flag extra long. Like, they're just stretching everything out here. Bullish and bearish. Bullish as you break out the flag. Bearish as this is like a symmetrical and it dumps. Sends you back to 106,383 for BTC. And that could definitely happen. Let me get back into the chat, see what people are doing. Was I timed out? Maybe. I don't know. You ask yourself. If you did something you should be timed out for, then you'd be asking that. No one who's a good person and talks nicely says that. So I don't know. Maybe it was an accident. But there's a chance we clicked on your name accidentally instead of someone else's. The chat moves fast. I hope not, though. It's not really what I want to be doing. So let's take a look at the super chats. KNS Soul. I'm not going to be going over that. I already mentioned that once, Lakochi. Let's take a look at CHILLGUY and Ethereum. I got to just research it myself before I jump on in. Bitcoin looks like it's going to flop over, man. Come on, man. Annoying. Price action has been very vexing. Shout out to the likes. 777 on the likes. We get it every single time I'm live, man. Shout out to everybody here with the 777s. God bless you so much. Thank you. Shout out to my dad out there looking down on me. Dad, I know you're out there at that Lifer meetup last night. I felt my parents' presence. I felt them with me. Unbelievable times to be alive. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at CHILLGUY and Ethereum. See what's happening to CHILLGUY and Ethereum. Shout out to the beautiful people here. 2,000 people here on the stream. I'm so blessed that many people came to the stream on a thirsty Thursday. We had a lot of people, too, that would watch the stream that were out all night last night in Bitcoin Vegas. And I don't know if they're going to wake up to see this stream. So I think there's definitely people I see that are all my subscribers. And they were out late last night. They're not going to wake up like I did at 5:45 in the morning. And that's the responsibility of being who I am. Like, everyone went out last night. They partied their butts off. They got in. I saw Jade Chains in a cab at 5:30. That's when I woke up to get ready for the day. So you do what you have to do to get it done. There's no excuses. There's no tears. There's nobody that cares. You know, you just keep grinding. You just keep grinding. I don't like the way that CHILLGUY looks, personally. Has more of a descending vibe than an uptrending vibe. Take a look at our weekly time frame, and we'll see what we see here on the weekly. Weekly got above the 200 MA here. We'll go back to the 3-day chart. 3-day chart looks interesting. Back to the daily. Daily almost, daily what's crazy is everything made this beautiful flag. They faked everybody up. It looked beautiful. Looked like the altcoins were going to go on a massive tear. Oversold, and then they just... I've never seen so much. It shows that there's definitely not as much retail in the market, and they got to stop hunt us, like whoever's out here, because they don't have a choice. Like they're attempting to find liquidity. They're not getting it from retail. So what do they got to do? They got to rinse us more. They got to go after us more. You mean, and I've been noticing it. I can see it. Like the market has been very unforgiving. Like that pattern breaks out more than that. That's an anomaly. You don't see that. That pattern normally breaks out 68% of the time with the low stochastics and everything we had going on with the MACD. And this is 77. So then I got to pull a fib and start looking at this. It looks like a double top, right? I can see why you sent in a super chat. This thing looks confusing as heck. A couple days ago, it looked like it was going to pump huge. All coins look great. Now, like, is it going to wick back inside? So, like, the one idea you could have, and I'm attempting to stay open-minded here, is that this is a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And that gives you that pump further to the upside. Shout out to Mountain Valley Spring Water, man. This stuff is the best. I remember getting this at my house. I got to do something nice for Robin and Dave. Maybe I'll buy a case of this stuff for them, have it shipped over here, something like that. I got to do something cool for them, man, for helping me. I even said I should, I'll pay you guys. This is an amazing experience. And they were super nice. Like, no, life, we love you. Look, 777s. You don't think that's weird? You don't think that's strange? Like, I just go to this coin, it's on 777, and it sits there. You don't think this is weird? This happens every stream, all the time. Everyone's like, no, it's you. You see these numbers. You make the numbers. So I'm making this go to 777, right? And sit there. I'm making it do that, right? I don't know, man. That's pretty awkward, pretty weird for me. It happens every day, but it still bugs me out how much it happens all the time. I'm the 777 guy. Like, I told you, my dad drank in a bar at 77 Beacon Street called the Sevens. He bought his clothes at a store called Slip 77. He covered his BMW with a 77, like he got these like sticker decals and he stuck them to the hood of the car. My dad was obsessed with the number 77. He never even mentioned it. He never talked about it. He just when I looked at him, I was always the 77. The Irish have this obsession with the 7. I don't know what it is. You guys know what it is? Anybody? Anybody out there? Bang, bang, bang. All right. Let's take a look if is there any money in these altcoins today, man? Bitcoin, it's been tough to trade. Look, they just made a sideways flag. Chop, 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 chop. Garbaggio. I see this as a bear flag. If you don't get the bounce, and even if it does bounce, actually, it could still be a bear flag. But, I mean, you're not even getting the bounce. Look like you're just falling right out of the pattern, So, I don't know. I'm not a fan here of Bitcoin at the present moment. It's been very annoying to trade. And that's why you can see I'm smart. A lot of people got rocked here, chasing, doing stupid stuff. Again, below the 200 MA, it always tells me to be careful. Until the 1 minute can get back above the 200, I don't see any reason to long the market. The bears are in control until that point. Now, here they go again. This is going to be like their 5th attempt to break 107,000 in the last 24 hours and hold its, and close a candle on like the 4-hour time frame. They can't seem to get back below that key level. I don't know what's happening no matter how hard they try, but they're going to go again now. And look, they broke this flag. They faked everyone out for a flag. You got to be careful here. This trading has been vicious. I'll be honest, man. A lot of the people that are trade are out here too, right? Maybe there's less volume in the market. Even me, I'm trading less because I'm out. Like, it's not, and the time difference. Look, now you can get this bounce. And I don't know what to tell you, but that's a bear flag to me now. Symmetrical triangle, more likely to break down. If you see us at 106,400, don't be surprised. Look at the bounce, though, of 107.1. Like, someone is just, every time we get near 107,000, someone's buying a bunch. You know what I mean? Do you see a broadening wedge? 777 is associated with spiritual enlightenment, inner wisdom, and connection between the soul and the spirit. It represents reassurance, self-confidence, intuition, and positive personal growth. Well, in Celtic, 7 is obviously luck, but also something about the spirit power. And if you see 7, maybe something has come to an end. Or beginnings. I'm all about the beginning, man. Everything ends to create a new beginning. Every end is a beginning. That's how I look at it. Like when I leave this earth, that I'm just beginning another journey to another place. I hope I did my part for everyone that was here while I was alive. Made people feel good about themselves. Made people believe that they could do things that they never thought possible. Help them find their true nature and find out who they really are. I found who I really was. I found my destiny. I'm doing it now. I know exactly where I sit in life and where I want to be. For years, I did not. It was very frustrating, and I saw a lot of people who could pick and choose what they wanted to do with their lives. I had no clue. At one point, I was envious of a guy who's taking out the trash because I was like, at least he's got a job. He shows up every day, and he said, hey, I'm going to be a trash guy 4 days a week. Then I'm going to fish 3 days a week. I'm going to bring my kids to, and I'm going to have a blast. It's looking like we're having this bottom again at 107,000. I can't explain this, but, they stop hunted the flag just like I kind of suggested they would. They went for the stop hunts. Like, you could see everyone made the flag. All these people are going to have stops down here. They, boom, went right after it. They got a bullish div with the stochastics pushing back to the upside and everything kind of coming back complete here. So we could get this beautiful bounce back to the top of the channel. That's very possible. Is your dad watching over you? 100%. 777s. Yeah, all the serious big hitters are at the conference. It happens like this every year. Just saw another car with a 77. Yep. Givers gain and the win. Takers want the magic but don't have it. Become a giver and win like Sammy Cup and Handy, man. I love you, brother. Thank you. And if you want to find out more, you want to jump on in, you want to become a crypto lifer. Everyone that was at the conference is a crypto lifer. Every single one. So go to cryptolifer.com. Find out more, hit the subscribe button, and jump on in with me for $99 a month, $270 a quarter, or $1,000 a year. Might be even less if you call and pay in cryptocurrency. We'll give you a deal. Shout out to everybody out here. You know what? I'll do something today I've never done. For Bitcoin Las Vegas, the annual subscription, we'll drop it right now just for today. Just for today, the 777s. Okay? I never do this. I only do this like in November. My whole team's freaking out right now. Sam, what are you doing? Just for today. You want to join for the year, you email Crypto Lifers, we'll get you in for 777. I know it's crazy. I know it's like, and I don't even know how we're going to implement this. My teams are like, you can't just do something like this, Sam. We can't do it like that. We need to have a code and it's got to work. But if we could implement something like this, now that it's been said, and maybe we can get it done for tomorrow, but just a Bitcoin Vegas, thank you to everyone that came out, it would be pretty cool. So I'm losing money on that. I get it. My team's like, whoa, you didn't even discuss it. You got to go over this stuff with us. I do this stuff. I would love if we could give them a Vegas discount just for the next 24 hours. You know what I mean? Whoever really, really wants to commit, let's give them a good price. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. I can't say this is going to happen for sure. I got to work with my team. Let's hope they verify that for me and get a code or something. We'll figure it out. Maybe it's not that difficult. If it is, I greatly apologize. I might have pissed my whole team off. They're like, Sam again with his impulsive discounts. I love you, Jamie. So, we'll see how that goes. Next time I'll ask my team before I say it out loud. But it just hit me right now, and I had that vibe, and I want to give that love away when I'm high frequency. I may not have that given nature at a moment, but right now I got it. It comes, So, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Lifer, good morning. Chill Guy, please, if you can, sir. We already looked at Chill Guy. It's funny you said that. Somebody already brought up Chill Guy, and I took a look at it, and that was we saw that. So I'll go over it again if you want towards the end of the stream here. It's already up, actually. Chill Guy looks a little sketchy to me. It's got a double top, but it also got a bit of a double bottom. You don't have a lot of support here, though. You're very oversold. RSI still has some room to go, and you almost have a shoulder, head, right shoulder there on the RSI. That could head lower, you see? And if you lose this key level, there's a 618 golden pocket and a high volume node coincidentally sitting at that key level at 5295. It's an aggressive entry right now for sure. If you believe in Chill Guy, maybe. Look, now it's back to 7737, right? That's how you know we just did Chill Guy. It was 777s. Billy the Beast, the myth, the legend, Vegas Claw. Where are you, man? Did I meet you, bro? Your name's Vegas Claw, and I didn't meet you in Vegas? That makes no sense. I don't understand that absolutely at all. You see what I'm saying? Can you upgrade for the quarterly to early with the discount code? See, these are great questions that I'm going to have to ask my team now. And they're like, Sam, you created a whirlwind. So I'm going to probably have a conference call with my team right after the stream. We're going to figure it out, see if we can hook you up. But there's definitely a way. Something can happen here. Okay? Yeah, I don't love Chill Guy right now. Altcoins are sketchy. They're watching if Bitcoin's going to hold key levels or dip. You know, Ethereum's showing some strength, but let's take a look at Ethereum. We're going to break down Ethereum on the bigger time frames and see what's happening here for Ethereum. All right. So, and I like to look at it here. You know, let's break it down. I still love the market structure. Still looking good. We had the tweezer top fake out breakout. Bitcoin's at 107,280 right now. Is that, let's see, yeah, 206. So, I mean, that's a beautiful pennant. That could break out, but ascending triangles, remember, they're 50%. They're not bull pennants. They have a 50% chance of breaking the base or breaking up. So there is a 50% chance this goes either way. There's no guarantees it breaks up somewhere into the $3,000 level at all for any reasons, right? So this is why, you know, we're looking for this key level here. Not a fan, but you know, Wickage tells a story, but you got, yeah, you know, it's funny, man. They got it. They don't want to give you the gusto here. If they're gonna make the push, they want to look very, very confusing before they make the move. Key thing here is you could just wait for a candle to close above the daily 200 MA, and that's far less risky than taking an aggressive entry inside the pattern. Pattern looks great though. I like what I'm seeing on the pattern. All right. I need a group to keep my 777 and make more. If I don't join, I'll lose 1777. Hey, it's possible. 3-day charts, 36% oversold on ETH. I talked about TON yesterday. What do you mean nobody's talking about? We went over it yesterday. I'm talking about it. So that's not true when you said that statement, because I ain't nobody. And I talked about it over here. I like Ethereum. There was a fake out breakout last night. I put out the call for ETH. The trade is still intact. There's nothing wrong with it. It's back to break even, basically, right? But this is the trade. Look, you can go 277 on the stop, or even come like a little into that wick there. But 3.25 risk-reward ratio with a stop at about 2,077. I didn't do that on. That's weird, right? No, 2006. Yeah, 2,364, and we'd go to basically 3,569. I like this trade. I'm going to watch it closely. There's a chance I do open this trade like before I go out to the conference today because I like the trade. There's a chance we get a boom for Ethereum. Ethereum also, you know, Thursday also not my favorite day to trade after you have unemployment. And at Thursday at 2 p.m., we start to dry up on the liquidity side of things. So it's definitely something not the greatest, all right? Will I make this trade? I'll let my team know when I do. If I do, I'll take a shot. It's looking okay, bro. It's my gamer's tag from a long time ago. Never changed my email, dude. I couldn't make it to Vegas at work. We have a big space project, man. Trust me, I'm really bummed out. I'm in NC from the Bronx. So cool, man. From the boogie down, bro. We got two guys from the Bronx. They're super nice to me. Love everyone that showed up. And so many people went up to me, man, and were like, yo, I watch your channel. You're the lifer. Someone's like, I was watching you. I was pretty sure that was you. But the lifer? That's so funny, man. People stop trolling and being self-centered. Watch the playback. He likely mentioned your coin. Yeah, Sui looks like garbage since the hack. Yeah, we'll take a look. Bro, it's my game. Oh, yeah. You still trade tokens like DeFi. Sui never got hacked. Cetus got hacked. Sui did not get hacked. Cetus got exploited. It wasn't Sui. I just want to make that clear. And it could be wrong, but from my research, that was not what happened. Okay? I mean, the trade looks great for Ethereum, but lately they've been stop hunting. I wouldn't be trying to stop hunt and then rip. If you just wait for the price to close above the 200 MA with a 21 coming up, you're more likely to win the trade. It's kind of a breakout positional, it's kind of buying the breakout, which is I don't really like to do. But at this point, and again, this is where Bitcoin was before its big move. Let's go back in time here for a split second. Look, we are starting to make that inverted head and shoulder and start to bounce. But let's go back in time to Bitcoin on the daily. Let me show you when we started this rally. Be kind of cool if Bitcoin goes sideways, stops ripping, and we start to kind of like mellow out here. So see this here? We were below the 200. It was, we weren't right at it, but we were getting close to it, and we were starting to go sideways with the 21 curving. And I knew there was a likely pump coming for Bitcoin and once we crossed the 200 MA, that was the chance. And ever since we crossed the 200, we were gone. Ethereum's at the stage where it could we were about to close a daily candle above the 200 last night. Had we done that, fireworks. The bots love that, and they eat that up. They take that confidence and start to go in hard. It's just something that I've seen many, many times. All right? I know I wasn't SWE, but yeah, people probably think it was. SWE's still a sleeper. Getting had is a rite of passage. I've seen, Matic dump one night out of nowhere to almost to zero, and it came back strong, ended up being a great coin. So many crazy things have happened. I'm going to watch this closely, but a little bit of bearish div there as you're swinging down on the RSI. Well, price actually went flat. 21's close. It could go either way. I could definitely see how there could be a stop loss. It's not guaranteed by any means. Okay? Now, if we can get back above 2,991, the gap up to 35.5 is fast. Pretty simple. That's another, again, you don't have to go with every single pattern. Trade a larger version of a bigger area. That's the key. All right? Sam, you should hit the real world buffet. Boss, yet yay. Thanks, man. There's so many buffets out here, though. I appreciate you. Discipline, confidence, vision. 99 for the crew. 333 for the move. 77 for the dream. Sam got tomorrow's charts today. Amen. 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 I'm underwater at Moodang. Could I have sold for 500 profit, but was greedy pig, thinking it's just going to fly up immediately? I'm sorry to hear that, man. $500 is a lot of money even for me. And remember, just 2 days ago, I took that $5,000 trade off the table. I covered myself for the week. It covered everything. It paid for the entire trip. I have no stress. Bought 65 lots of ETH last night before it spiked. Took profits at 2,700. You're the man, dude. Good for you. Good for you. Pay the trader. Pay the trader. Coming for a hug in an hour. See you at SCC. Alex O'Crypto. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. I'll try to hang out for you, but I do got to get back to the conference. But if you're here, I'll be here. You'll be here at 10 o'clock. Sir, can you check on Farco? I may not be here. You might have to see me at the conference. Hey, Sam, can you take a look at NXPC? NXPC. Hey, Lakochi, I got some tickers that I don't see you wrote down. Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it was a dev, not the chain. But for most people who live on social media, facts don't matter. Yeah, 100%. I like that you said that. Sam, what do you think of OM Mantra Cash? Jamie, am I messing up there with the discount? It's okay. You can reprimand me on the live. Alex Crypto, brr, right? I never slept with someone for crypto. You're funny. Can you please take a look at the ticker? $1, please. Love the stream, by the way. I don't know what he's saying. The ticker $1. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat from Alex O'Crypto. You didn't have to do that, but you did. Hello, Sam. GBY. Can you have a look at NXPC? Oh, my team didn't do it because it just came out. So really, the trade of the week could be Ethereum. A week from now, we're up huge. Everything plays out. And it's you were scared. No, you were scared. No, you were scared, right? Let's take a look at NXPC and see what's happening. Again, though, below that total three's got to get back above the zone. I'm just not loving what I'm seeing there. I could see a rollover. Josh crossing the vertical line. I'll let you see what I'm looking at here. We did talk about this. I wanted to see it consolidated. It broke out anyway and then consolidated. So it seems like it's going for the target, but everything is double top. Let's take a look at NXPC. Next space. I mean, it just keeps dumping to the downside. I don't know much about it. It was a newer coin. Usually VC money, you don't have a lot of... I see a lot of VC coins. They got in super early, and they send it to the exchange. They dump it, and Maybe this has a good use case. You'd have to research it, and if it starts to get a bump above a key level, like if it breaks back above 186, use that as support, then you can swing trade it up to 222, and then if it does that, you can swing trade that up to 259. But I'm definitely not going to buy the bottom here, hoping it's going to bounce. I know nothing about it. It's a brand new coin. Doesn't have enough information for me, personally. It doesn't mean we can't trade it, but you can see it made a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Like I would expect a lower high. It's got to get back above 186 to even take it seriously. Gets above 186, then we can start to look at it. Unless you think it's a great project and you're buying the absolute bottom, but I'm not into it. All right? So I wouldn't put my stamp on that. No way, no how. Amen. Back to BTC, falling off 106,900 or 55. And it gets back above 100K, but it's just been a vicious move here. Like, look at this. This is the whole show. Sideways, dump, but didn't take out the low. We actually started here on the right shoulder. We were in the money. They stopped us out of break even. Very similar to yesterday's, just chop. Let's go look at it clean again and see the best probabilities that I can see here. Daily's starting to make a pretty nice flag, okay? But I still see kind of an Adam and Eve, double top. The only way I would trade this is if the daily got a bounce, that's like a descending triangle. It just doesn't look amazing. I almost feel like it's a descending triangle that already broke down. Look at that. I don't know how that's not bearish. Like, the probabilities tell me we're going down to 103,000, 104.8. So 4 hour looks to be rolling over too. It's got like a shoulder, head, right shoulder vibe. They just tested 107,000 for like the 5th time. You keep testing a key area, you're going to lose it. That looks like a descending triangle that's going to dump. And again, you lose the 2 hour 200 MA, you're going down to the 3 hour 200 MA. You lose the 3 hour 200 MA, you're going down to the 4 hour 200 MA. Then we can possibly get a bounce or reset there too as well. So I'm just more bearish than bullish for Bitcoin right now. I gotta, attempted the bounce there. We got the bounce last night. I knew we were going to get a bounce. High probability. We didn't know, but the probability was high. We got the bounce. Now what? Now you got to see this 1 hour time frame bounce back to the top of the channel yet again. And this is just chop suey, right? And look, shoulder, head, you might just make a right shoulder and dump. I'm more bearish, I am definitely more bearish than bullish. Bitcoin has to get back above key levels in the smaller time frames. The 1 minute has to break back above the 200 MA. Look, we're back at 107. This is insane. Every time they make it go down below 107, someone shorts, they rip it back up. Every time they bring it up to 107.5, they rip it back down to 106.9. They've done it for like the last 2 hours straight. Annoying price action. Like, I can't wait not to watch this price action for 10 minutes. It's insane. I see a bounce here, oversold 1 hour back to the top of the channel. They're going to flush these shorts back to the top. I mean, it's just nuts. So just be careful trading this chop. Ethereum looks like a better trade right now as Bitcoin's in some serious chop. I'm looking for a bounce on the 1 hour time frame. I'm going to give you guys updates throughout the day with the iPad and see what's happening. About 4 or 5 hours from now, I expect Bitcoin to have passed 107,696 and continue to move. Very oversold there, right? Creating a bit of almost a double bottom. So my prediction is that we're going to make some type of inverted head and shoulder here. A shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, move back up, and the 1 hour is going to move to the top. We could definitely lose this level. I could be wrong, and we could start to drop. Right now, the bears are in control unless the bulls can get us back above 107.5, And again, I know days when it's mixed signals, and today it's not really even mixed signals, but every time we're getting a clean reversal, it doesn't seem to go. Look, we're back at 106.960 again. This is nuts. Very vexing price action. If you're watching it on the small time frames, attempting to make a day's pay, it's been very difficult. The day trading hasn't been amazing. The 1 minute 200 MA right there was the play, and then shorting the 1 minute when it lost the 200 MA right there. Right there, when the 1 minute lost the 200 MA, look, short the market. That's my short signal. Whenever we get back below the 200 MA on the 1 minute, I start to say, man, could that be the beginning of a bigger dump? And now this flag rolled over. Like, it really rolled over like it's a flag. I don't know. I can't even, let's see here. I'm going to make sense of this in a second. But you got like a 20-year analyst, and you look at the chop. And you know what? I love that. I'll look back on times when my system tells me to chill because it's getting mixed signals, and that's usually when I miss out on nasty chop. Then my system gives me a nice clean entry and says it looks good, and that's when my system can take advantage. So it's almost like I'm supposed to see confusion right now because that makes a perfect sense, because when I see clarity, it's not the same, right? So if I see clarity, then there's a reason for it. If I see confusion, then it means the probabilities are not aligning, and I don't want to trade those probabilities. This could possibly make an Adam and Eve double bottom. I'm being creative here. But man, that flag should have broken out. The rejection of the 200 MA there too on the 5 and the 7. 7 minute look, and then rolling over here. Attempting to hug a higher low. You got to say that starts looking more descending. like symmetrical triangle style, and that's bear flag-esque. I'm seeing if it can make an Adam and Eve double bottom. I got to give this a few more hours to find out what's happening, and honestly, it's more about the daily. I want to see those daily candles. If they close back above that key level, then Bitcoin has a chance. Let me show you exactly what I'm saying before I jump on out of here. So small time frames giving multiple mixed signals, clear as day. You can't fight the feeling. And let's go to the daily right now. And even the 1 hour, I mean, that's shoulder, head, right shoulder-esque. Like, that tells me you just lost this level here. That's a shoulder, head, and shoulder, even though you can't really see the right shoulder. It's like hidden. See it? That's a head and shoulder pattern. There's your shoulder, there's your head, there's a tiny little right shoulder. There's your neckline. It could be like a lobster. You know if a lobster has a giant claw? Look, there's your dump. I see Bitcoin going 105,004 now. That's your next target out the head and shoulder. You're losing this key level. Now you're back. Finally broke 107, and it took all morning. I guess people kept buying the dip. I see this head and shoulder dumping to the downside for Bitcoin, headed to $105,400. That's my last call right now, and then I'll pick up from where I left off on my next update. I see Bitcoin going down, man. I really do. So I wish I could say it differently, but I just got to show you what I see in the charts and go from there. Yeah, everyone says, what's all the down pressure with huge announcements? You're reading the news, man. Announcements are made for you to buy when it's the high. You get it? They use the news to make you look to do the wrong thing, man. Stop watching the news. Stop reading the articles and start looking at the charts. Amen. Everybody, I love you. I thank you so much for being here. It's been an amazing trip. I want to say thank you to Sin City Crypto, Dave and Robin, for allowing me to use the studio. Dave shows up at 6:30 in the morning for me. He's up early anyway, but I know that is, I really am grateful for that someone else actually cares about my life. So I love you all. I appreciate you guys more than you would ever know. I'm looking for a button here. That's why I'm looking down. Here we go. Thank you to all the super chats. Thank you to everyone that came out. Listen, always wear pants, dude. All right? I wear pants. Rob wears pants. All right? I think we have the same pants on. They look pretty nice. Come here, Rob, man. Come on in here, man. Thank you so much for everything, Rob. You look great.
Thanks.
Sexy, man. You look great, man.
Thank you. Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
This is Rob from Sin City Crypto, if you didn't know, everybody. We're in the studio here in Vegas. And I don't know if you want to just say something, man, about Bitcoin, about being in the studio. The studio is beautiful. I just want to say thank you. And, yeah.
Well, you know what I want to say? I want to say that I appreciate having you here, man.
Thanks.
You're one of my good friends, and I'm glad you made it out to Vegas. Glad you're hanging out with us. And so the least we could do is, help you out here a little bit. So thank you for visiting us, man.
Yeah, many more. I'm going to bring the family next time, you know what I mean? Have them do some fun stuff. But, yeah.
Oh. See you making bread over here, huh?
Yeah, we were playing around. A little bit. You see stacks of cash, you got to play around, you know what I mean? Everybody, Rob, Sin City Crypto. And, go over to his channel today and send him a big thank you from the lifers, please. Send him a super chat. I better see a super chat from someone. I'll do it, But God bless you all. Thank you so much. Stay true. Stay amazing. They keep ripping price right back up whenever we go below 106. It's treachery. I'm waiting for more information, maybe even for the daily close, and we'll go from there. Big Rob looking good. Hola, somebody says. Everybody, thank you so much yet again. I can say thank you 1,000 times. Remember, I studied millionaires, billionaires, some of the most successful people in the world, and there was a secret to their success. Every single one had the same secret. And it's crazy. Like, there's a secret to success. Isn't that interesting? Success leaves clues. You know what the secret to success is? Do you know what it is? It's getting started.